This is a home exercise program for a patient of mine. What we're going to talk on first is when you first get up, we talked about doing what we call posterior and anterior pelvic tilts. It's just to get some movement in your spine. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit on the edge of the chair. You're going to take a deep breath in, and you sit up straight. When you breathe out, you just try to roll back. And obviously, because of your situation, you won't be able to roll that much. But the idea is just to try to get this kind of movement in your pelvis into your lower spine, but in coordinating it with your breath. So breathe in, sit up, breathe out, curl down. You could do about 10 of those. That would be exercise 1 in the morning. Once you feel fairly warm, you can then try doing the one we've already had out there a few times, where you take another deep breath in, and on the breath out, you're just trying to roll forward and try to round out your back and try to stretch out your low back a little bit. Maybe keeping your hands along your thighs, down onto your the front of your legs, and then maintain the position. Don't stretch all the way, but then take another breath in and a breath out, and see if you can go any further. Whenever you get to a spot where you stop, hold that position and just breathe through it. Obviously, don't try to overdo it, because you do have some hardware in there, so we're not looking to become Gumby, but just try to open it up a little bit. So that's exercise 2. You're going to do that for about 2 to 3 minutes. Exercise 3, we talked about a hamstring stretch. So what you're trying to do on this one, same position. You then, once you finish those 2, you're then just going to extend one leg. Now, what's really important to this is the knee has to be straight, or as straight as you possibly can get it. If the knee is bent, then you're not getting the most tension on the hamstring or stretching on the hamstring. So keep the knee straight. You can have the foot relaxed. So, and then from that position, what you're going to do is sit up as straight as you possibly can, and then you lean forward, and then you'll feel the stretch in your hamstring. You just hold it for a breath in, breath out. Do that for a few breaths, and then relax a little bit. Now, if you can do that, fine. If it seems like you can handle more of a stretch, then you would do the same idea. Knee straight, quads on, up straight. Now bring the foot in if you wanted to, and then lean forward. But notice, anytime I'm bringing my body forward, there's no rounding going on. My chest stays high. My whole body's moving as a unit. I'm not doing this. Real important. And then just hold it. You'll feel that stretch. Then to add a wrinkle to it, you can turn your foot in a little bit while you do that stretch forward. You can turn the foot out, working on the different components of the hamstrings. So again, you do that with a breathing component. Maybe you hold each breath. You do about 5 or 6 breaths on each leg. Okay, so that's the 3 stretching ones. The next one we talked about, which you've done in the past, is just the standard calf stretch, right? Hands on the wall, one foot behind the other. We're stretching this one. The keys to this is the heel has to stay on the ground. If the heel comes up, you're stretching something possibly, or you're strengthening something, but you're not doing what we're asking. And that the foot is forward. It's not turned out, and it's not turned in too much. It's just straight to the wall. Then you just lean in and hold that. Again, with breathing. Breathe in. Breathe out. See if you can go a little further. You do that for maybe 5 breaths. Then you can bend the knee, but keep the heel on the ground, and do the same thing, 5 breaths. And then you can switch the legs. Okay? So that's the main stretch ones. Then what we did, we tried to come up with something you can do for your hip extensors to strengthen them. I think what we came up with was you're going to stand close to a wall. You're going to have your hands, I'm going to take my shoe off for a second. You're going to have your hands on a chair, and all you're going to do is you're going to put your foot up on a wall like that, and then what I want you to do is just push your foot into the wall so you start getting a contraction of your glutes. And you just hold that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. You can relax by just softening the contraction or actually putting your foot back down on the ground. Some of the important components of this, is when you're doing this, again, I'm staying tall, I'm not rounding, I'm not bringing my chin forward. All this stays as one unit. If anybody was watching you do this, they wouldn't really kind of know what you're doing, because your body doesn't change as you're pushing into the wall. And just hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. I would only do maybe 4 or 5 of those on each leg. Really be careful about what's going on in your back. You got to really contract the core, because if you push without contracting the core, it can cause you to arch your back, and that may end up hurting. Okay? And then I think we had, then we had the standing TheraBand for the core. This one, if you remember, is with the TheraBands. You put them in the door, and what you're going to do, I can't remember the color I gave you, whatever color it was, You're gonna stand perpendicular to the door, feet at the same level, facing out. You're gonna grab the band, you're gonna bring it to your belly button with two hands. Now the key to this is my shoulders and my hips are in the same plane. They're in what's called the coronal plane. And so when I'm doing this exercise, I don't let any motion, I don't let one shoulder get in front of the other or one hip. And all you do is you bring the band with tension to your belly button, and you just bring your hand out away from your belly button in the same, almost I think of it as like a channel that's right there. You're going straight out from there. My hands aren't going in, my hands aren't going too far out. Right there so that my shoulders can stay in the same plane. Core activate. The whole point of this exercise is to strengthen the core. Core activation again is just meaning the belly button's going a little bit towards your spine by tightening your abs. What I'm not doing is this, and I'm not arching my back. I'm keeping my core tight, hands here, bring them away, hold, breath in, breath out. I come back. You can do that 10 times. Anywhere along the way, if you want to hold it for longer than one breath, that's fine. You're just going to go long enough, that you feel like you're getting a workout. No back pain. And then you're just going to flip around and do the same exact thing the other way, but I'm not going to show you now. Okay? And then I think the last thing we just said is to remind you about the McGill curl up. That's the one you and I reviewed last time. When you're laying on the bed, I'll just show you real quick on the floor, since the bed's not exactly prepared. McGill curl up is just when you have one leg up, one leg down, core activate, hands across your chest, chin tuck. Real important that the chin stays tucked. And you're going to keep that activation, and you're just lifting your shoulders up. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and return. That's the McGill curl up. You've been doing those. You could switch the position if you want. It's up to you. And I would do at least 10 of those, each one maybe 2 breaths each. Okay? I think that's it for now. If you have any questions or problems, you can call me or email me. And then if I come up with anything new, I will videotape it and send it out to you. Okay? All good. Be safe. Make sure you're breathing. Breathing's real important. Great. Thank you.